What's up, guys? In today's video, I wanted to change it up a little bit. I wanted to kind of bring you guys along with me on a wildlife call. So if you've been in our Discord group chat or Facebook group, I'm sure you've seen where we started catching some skunks at a neighbor's property of mine recently. And if you know anything about catching skunks, they usually come in batches, never just one. It's usually about half a dozen from my experience. And I wanted to show you guys kind of, one, what we use, and two, how we go about trapping them, how we go about not getting sprayed. You know, that's the most important part when it comes to skunks, right, is not getting sprayed. So we're going to show you guys that, and then of course how we release them. So the most common question that I see all over pest control forums, including in my comments and stuff like that, is, you know, what type of baits and stuff to use when it comes to wildlife. Now, every type of wildlife is different. For things like possums, skunks, raccoons even, I love using this cheap cat food. It has, you know, some type of fish, sardines in it specifically. I notice anything with sardines in it, these little critters just go crazy for it. They'll go after it usually within like less than 12 to 24 hours in a lot of cases. This one has white fish with sardines and some kind of sauce apparently, and it's only like 85 cents to get these two. So a lot of times when we deal with skunks, and I know there's going to be a few of them, I'll just load up on like half a dozen to a dozen of them. That way we're good to go. So let's get to the job. So once you get your trap set up, as you can see, you always want to put that food at the back of the trap specifically. The reason you want to do that, of course, is because once they hit this plate, that door is going to shut. And looking back on it, I probably should have recorded myself actually setting this trap, but it's pretty simple and straightforward. We do not like using the two-way function, so what we do is we go ahead and bend this bar to keep this door completely shut altogether, and we'll just use it as a one-way trap. From there, it's pretty straightforward. You want to make sure you have this bar set this way, not this way. If it's set that way, they're able to get out. So we set it like that. And then from there, you just set your little plate just like this. That way, whenever they actually hit that plate, it'll shut the door on them. So let's go get this set up. And when it comes to actually walking up on the traps, as you can see, we have a thick blanket. This is what we use to avoid getting sprayed. As you can see, there's actually some spray marks on this thing where we've used it, broken it in for sure. Let's go take a look at those skunks. So I don't know if you guys can see him through there. Little guy just got caught overnight. The other one was actually just tripped. These little guys have actually been pretty smart at avoiding getting caught, but we're slowly getting them one by one. We've caught 3 so far. This is the third one. Let's get them removed. So this is how it looks once we actually got the skunk removed. As you can see, got him completely covered, and have a couple blocks of wood on there to help keep him covered, keep him protected so he's not sliding all over the back of the truck. Now it's time to get these other traps set up. So of course, whenever you set these traps up, you want to set it close to where we see our skunk entry, like you see right there. And you always want to make sure you put these in shaded areas like we did today. We have 3 traps now set up because these skunks have been kind of tricky on us, and I live right across the street practically. So now it's just a waiting game. Now we're gonna go relocate this skunk. When you look up online how to go relocate a skunk, one, of course, if you go by the law, a lot of states, counties, etc., will say that, you know, you need to execute the skunks or whatever type of wildlife you're dealing with. We don't do that personally. We take it to usually some type of preserve, usually anywhere between about, you know, they say if you're going to relocate 20 miles away. I usually relocate anywhere between 5 to 10 miles away, and I've never had a skunk, or really anything at all, ever find its way back to a property. So experiment with it, but just know ultimately there's no cookie cutter way about doing this. It's just taking it far enough away from the property to where, of course, it's not gonna find its way back. So whenever you get to your location where you want to actually drop your little critter off, I always like to start to lift up one end or the other. You can usually tell by the weight which side the little guy is sitting on. In this case, he's sitting on this front side here. So what we do from there is we just flip it around, and I'll show you guys how we go about actually releasing here in just a second. So you're not gonna just take the entire blanket off because of course we're dealing with the skunk, not a squirrel or anything else. Not to mention, even with squirrels and other type of rodents, it's not a bad idea to leave that on there because it helps calm the rodent down. They don't see you, therefore they start to kind of, you know, not be so scared. They're not worried that there's a predator nearby. It creates a little tunnel of escape for them once you open that trap up, as I'll show you all here in just a second. He's actually worked his way up to the front. He seems to be ready to shoot right out of there. This may not actually take very long. And of course, this is the side where we actually bend our bar. So to do that, it simply just bends right back over. Nothing crazy. Now that we got our bar bent back over, it's time to release this little fella. To release, we're just simply gonna let that down. And out he goes. Enjoy the rest of your days, little fella. Some people will actually say that this is a somehow inhumane way of getting rid of rodents, regardless of what type of rodent you're getting rid of. I don't know. I guess to me personally, I would rather at least give a little rodent a chance to go out there on a preserve somewhere and at least make it. The theory is oh, well, within a few days, they're going to get ate up by, you know, some predator. And in my opinion, at least, you know, this is just my opinion now, you need to let the natural food chain work its course at the end of the day. Who are we to eliminate that by simply executing a rodent, you know, which is more inhumane, to go ahead and just put a bullet right in between that little guy's eyes, or to at least give him a fighting chance out there, you know, in that preserve. It's not like we're just letting him loose, you know, in the city or anything. As you can see right behind me, probably, it's probably a little blurry back there, but we literally let him loose in a little, you know, forest, essentially, little nature preserve here in the DFW Metroplex. So, you know, to each their own. This is how we do it. This is a highly sought after topic. People asking, you know, hey, how do you actually, what's the process from start to finish on getting rid of any type of rodent, but specifically how to relocate a skunk. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, just smash that thumbs up button. It lets me know you guys appreciate this type of content. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to check out all the other videos we have. I try to break it up into playlists for you guys to make everything easier to follow. And until next time, guys, go get the life that you and your family deserve and stay safe out there.